What is up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Play Out Loud with QSC. So excited to be here for yet another week. And we've got some hot topics, I feel like, today to chat about. I'm Kristin out of Orlando, Florida, with our DJ Rocks. I have got DJ Jess with me out of Pittsburgh, looking so cute in her little hat.
Thanks.
And then we also have DJ BSelecta from California. Say what's up.
What's up?
So ladies, we haven't talked in, I feel like it's been at least 3 weeks. So talk to me. What's good? What is new with events in your world? Jess, give me something.
Okay, so what's good? I mean, honestly, it's been kind of an interesting 3 weeks, but I would say, I was thinking about this. The best thing that's happened to me this week is the fact that I have finally sat down and learned my new CRM system that I got, my online management system. I have not been using one of those things for being in business for the past like 5 or 6 years. And I don't know what the heck I was doing. Like, anybody out there that doesn't have a management system online, do it now. Because I am so excited. I'm like finally streamlining things. I don't know what I was doing, dude. Just
floating through life, not managing anything. What management system are you using?
I'm using Pave.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister-in-law uses it. She's a photographer, and she spoke highly of like the financial aspects of it, which I truly haven't gotten into yet. But the fact that I knew somebody that was using it and that could help me, and then also DJ Dana uses it too. So I went ahead and signed up with that system. It's kind of similar to Honeybook.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just right now I just got it down where I could do electronic contracting, which I was not doing that.
Oh my God, stop.
Me? I'm not doing that.
You aren't?
It makes things so weird. Like seriously, it's insane. You just set up everything and it's automated and it sends out emails and invoicing. Like I was physically making my invoices on a computer. But we'll have to talk because you need to get on that.
Yeah, for sure. I use PayPal. I make my invoices. PayPal is my accountant right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no electronic contracts. I have like my standard ones that I just email out, but that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. We'll have to talk more about it. But as far as events in Pittsburgh right now, I have had the past 3 weeks off. So nothing really besides what I see online and my other DJ friends doing. So I'd say it's the same as it was 3 weeks ago. Weddings are still happening. I just didn't have anything that stuck with their booking.
Yeah, but guys, the reason why she's had off is because she just celebrated an amazing birthday and went on this like trip into the outdoors. So like, it's not like Jess just had like, oh, I didn't have any weddings. Like, no, she was living her best life.
Thank you. It is a nice break, man. It was hard at first. And like, I can feel myself with the itch to perform and, exchange energy, but I am enjoying the downtime, and financially I'm cool, but talk to me in January.
Yeah. Right?
But happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
We went to West Virginia and got a cabin and just chilled out as best as I could, because
that's awesome. Congratulations on finally being able to legally drink and rent your own cabin without an adult. I mean, this is so great for you, Jess. Finally becoming legal. You can have digital contracts. Life is so good to you.
Cheers.
Oh goodness. All right, B, what's going on with you? What's good? What's new in California? Give us some updates.
Okay, well, I want to go back to our last live because I think I said California wasn't on a color-coded system, which shows how out of the loop I am, because they totally are. And it's not looking awesome. What's good is I finally went on Twitch. I finally jumped into the Twitch pool, and we can talk about that in a second. It took a lot of, and the reason why is what's good. So I partnered with the American Cancer Foundation to do a 2-hour live stream. It was called the She Rose Virtual DJ Dance Party. And they did female DJs from coast to coast. So New York, Chicago, LA, Hawaii. So it was just an honor to be a part of something like that, just period. But it made me do the Twitch thing. So that was good. I needed a push because it was overwhelming. We talked about that. But also, I was able to raise over $2,200 for breast cancer research. So just to see the people come out, thank you, Mama. Yeah. So just to see the people come out and support the cause, but support me too, was really, really cool. And, you know, the Twitch thing was odd for me at first, for sure, because I couldn't see people either. It wasn't like a Zoom call where you at least see boxes. It was just me in a dark room with my daughter being my programmer, which is so funny. She was operating. It was a team effort. I thought that was cool. And the Breast Cancer Society sent her a little She Rose cape, so she was all proud of herself. Yeah, it was really awesome introduction, I think, for her to kind of get into more charitable work. But at 11, but no, it was a cool experience. And once I got over the camera and the fact that no one was really in the room with me, DJ Chris Cut came in and she was supporting me on the chat. So that gave me life, because at least I saw things moving. I'm like, okay, there's somebody on the other side of this camera. Exactly. So it was a great experience, actually. I was really, really happy with it. It felt kind of like my first gig all over again.
It was. It's your first virtual gig. You know what I mean? It is.
Yeah. It felt like that.
And I can't with that gig.
You know what? Another DJ I know did it for them earlier in June for another cancer initiative. And so I think they approached him and said, do you know any female DJs in California? And he referred me, which I'm super honored for that. Thank you, DJ Oz.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I really had to get the Twitch thing going. So I actually ended up reaching out to a guy on Fiverr because I was overwhelmed. And he goes by J64, Jaay 64. He literally walked me through this entire virtual universe that I didn't even know existed. I felt old. And but he took the time. And there was one moment I was on a chat with like 4 different guys from all over the world, and they were all trying to help me build the overlays and mix the audio and all these things you got to do. So I was just really humbled by just the support. It was cool, but I needed it. I needed someone who would be willing to baby step me through it, because it was too much.
It's a lot. It's a lot to put together. So like this was probably, from my point of view, so innovative, because you know, we've seen DJs from all across the US be so creative with Twitch in so many ways, and I've definitely never been it just makes me so nervous to do anything without purpose, right? So like if I'm gonna jump into something, I always ask myself 50 million times, but why? And what's the end goal? So when I saw that you were doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. So like, how does it work with that? Did they bring in each of you guys to DJ and it was on their channel? And like, how did the fundraising work?
So seamless. So here's the best part. All of these platforms really, because of time, have learned how to speak to each other. So they used a website or an app called Tiltify.
Okay.
So you don't have to sign up for Tiltify like you do with Twitch and all that kind of stuff. Twitch was just the way I got into Tiltify. So what they had me do was create a campaign on Tiltify benefiting the American Cancer Society. And so when I went live on Twitch, it automatically put me live on their Tiltify. And so once I was live on their Tiltify and my specific She Rose page, right there is the donate button. So and with my Twitch, Tiltify and Twitch speak to each other. So as people were donating on Tiltify, it was increasing my goal on Twitch. So everything talked to each other. So it was so incredibly easy to do. And you can set up your own campaigns on Tiltify so easily. Like I was blown away by how seamless it actually went and worked. And I had people donating from Canada, the UK, all over and it absolutely worked. There was zero issues. whatsoever. And then you just see as a collective how much they raised, and then each individual fundraiser. So yeah, they just got me set up on Tiltify. They sent me a link, said fill out your stuff. Yeah. Then I had my own campaign page, and it all worked. And I agree with you, Kristin. Purpose is great. And it was probably the reason why I actually got my booty on Twitch, because I wouldn't have done it any other way. I wasn't inspired. But it was a really great way to easily raise some funds or awareness or whatever for something that matters. And I really want to like continue to do that, like you and I spoke about.
Yeah. I love that. And so a bomb got dropped on me, you guys, today, which I already, look at me, I'm already like nervous over here. But, you know, I was talking with the girls behind the scenes, and Brandy got the email. And so I'll have her share it with you guys. But Twitch is cracking down on DJs even more so than they were before. So, you know, like before you'd stream live and everything would be fine. They wouldn't shut you down. They might just shut your music off after the stream. Now it's looking like that's like not, I don't even know. I tried to research as much as I possibly could, but why don't we start with Jess? You know, you and I talked about this. Talk to me about like what you've heard, what's kind of the rumors going on. What did you find on the research of like, oh God, you know, we can't DJ live. Then we couldn't DJ on Facebook. Then we went to Twitch, and now are they going to shut us down on Twitch? Can I just raise some money for some breast cancer?
Yeah, or go live, you know, just anywhere. I haven't been live on Twitch recently. I mean, I did it for DJ Pre has been hosting a raid train, so I was on Twitch for that. But I really didn't take to Twitch too much. I know that my first experience with copyright issues was just the music from a ceremony that I streamed getting muted. And it was the same day. I was watching it over to check my levels. I was in Deep Creek, Maryland, and I texted the couple. I was like, you better, you know, grab your video now, because it was the guest arrival music that was muted. So that was my first.
Wait a minute. You were DJing a wedding.
Yeah.
And you were streaming the ceremony for them.
Yeah, to Twitch.
And they muted you.
Yeah, they muted the guest arrival. Now I checked. I don't know how quick it happened, but when I was grabbing dinner after the ceremony on my way back to my cabin in Deep Creek, I went on and I said, hey, you know, I'm going to check out this video. What's your link again? So I went on to their Twitch page that the couple created specifically for their ceremony to watch it. I think it was like 2 hours later, and the guest arrival music was muted.
Yeah, they'll mute it right away.
Right away.
The playback, not when you're live.
Yes, Kristin.
You can record the video, which I didn't do. And then they eliminate the playback.
I'm sweating over here.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, this was at the end of August. But when I'm booking with clients now to do streaming of ceremonies and receptions, I let them know not to use Twitch or Facebook, you know, because it'll just get taken away. No, Kristin, it wasn't during the wedding itself. It was afterwards. I was getting.
So one of our local live stream companies, probably the best in Orlando, I believe they are using private Facebook groups in addition to YouTube.
Interesting.
Possibly, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I have this group chat with other Pittsburgh DJs, and there's this one DJ Selecta who just became an affiliate for Twitch. And so I wanted to know if it was specific to them as well. Kristin, we were just talking about this, like if affiliates could get away with some things, because, you know, once you become partners with, you know, an online source, a streaming channel, that you do get perks from that, right? And I asked him, I said, hey, you know, are you part of this too? We're going to be talking about it on QSC. And Selecta said he's been bombarded with this from everybody today, and he's not immune to it. So I know it does apply to everybody. I really haven't been paying much attention to it, but I did say to you, Kristin, before this, I'm in a group chat with DJ Run That and DJ Stardust, and Run That just shared with us an app that was developed by another DJ that is what is described as in his post as a mix of Zoom and Twitch. Now, this guy, the DJ's name is Daryl Frater, and I messaged him to let him know we were talking about it, but he didn't get it back to me. This was like 20 minutes ago, right? But the app is called The Club. And if you go to the App Store, it just basically, welcome to the club, use this as an event. Oh, wait, use this event as a chat to ask me anything about the club. So the creator is like super into it, but you can go in there, set up a stream, and supposedly, I don't know if there's any copyright issues. I mean, another DJ created this, you know, and it's fairly new. I did go to his Facebook page to watch it. I watched a video of somebody streaming, and it seemed like the audio was cool too, but I'm anxious to see where this app, the club, goes, if you guys can see that. So if anybody watching this right now that's in the chat, you can see if I have Pokemon Go. I might put that on there. I love Pokemon, dude. But if any of you have used the club or know anything about it, please feel free to comment, because I'm interested in this now. Did you guys hear about it?
I haven't. And, you know, my mind like is trying to compare it to another point in time where it was like, first there was Napster, then there was BearShare, then there was LimeWire, and like shut down. And so it's like,
that's a good comparison.
I don't know. I said before, like, you know, at first we were on Facebook, and, you know, then we went to Twitch. We're not allowed to DJ live in some states. And so like, now what? You know what I mean? And so that's, I don't know. And I'm a smidge disappointed because I am currently renovating our home office, or not our home office. I'm currently renovating 3 of our warehouse rooms with the intent of it being a potential live stream room. So it's just interesting to watch and see where this goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a way. There has to be a way. That's at least how my thing with life is. There's always got to be a way. I mean, Nate Nelson just said private Facebook group is the way to go. Then the only thing with those platforms, because they're not created for music like Twitch is the sound quality. It's the same with Zoom. Like, it's not horrible, but when you're a DJ and a professional, you want as close to perfect as you can get. So that's why I'm wondering what this club app is like.
Well, it's either that or for those of you who don't know, Mixcloud came out with over the summer their Mixcloud Live. And so if you have a Mixcloud Pro account, you'll be able to go live there. From what I read about on Mixcloud, it says that Mixcloud Live is the only legal and licensed streaming platform for creators, aka DJs, to upload and live stream their shows. So it makes sense to me because they probably already pay for copyrights because they host all of our mixes. So that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Mixcloud's been pretty solid for a long time. And I've been hearing about Mixcloud since the beginning of live streaming, but I don't know why we haven't really embraced them and did all these other things. But, you know, it's an issue to keep building and pushing onto different platforms and getting everybody, like, now everybody's got the Twitch app, and now it's like, okay, let's go somewhere else. It's like, y'all are killing us, man. We're just trying to help. Like,
that's
just trying to play music. I get it though. It's tough.
They just said that my buddy I was talking about, BSelecta, he was like, he just became partner with Twitch. He's been putting in like 12-hour streams. Not kidding. This dude in Pittsburgh, he's amazing. If you don't know BSelecta, check him out. He's like, now I got to get folks to migrate over there too, you know, and there's no monetization. You can't do that on there. So it's just like, I feel like we're in this lull right now with that. Like, you know, at first it was like, everyone go, everyone figure it out. Okay, we're here. Let's go, you know? And now that we're here, they're saying, wait a second, they're here. Stop it. This is not what we were meant for. And so now we're in this like in-between world. Something will come next. I have a good feeling about it. We just got to wait and figure it out and keep researching.
Yeah. I was, I DJ'd our local NACE meeting a couple weeks ago, and it was the first one that NACE Orlando had hosted since we got out of quarantine. And some of the DMCs that were there were talking about, you know, because my question is, how are you guys? Thank God you're here. You're not furloughed. It's great to see you. What are the conversations are you having with, you know, your corporate clients? And a lot of them are saying that their corporate planners are saying things like they're a little bit kind of shy to pull the trigger on hosting an event in Orlando because Florida doesn't have like blanketed safety COVID measures. Whereas like, I don't know if you guys saw the announcement, but like Vegas, like statewide, there are mandates that everybody has to follow. So it's kind of like, I don't really know. Like the last thing I heard was, what was it? Nevada, they could host up to 1,000 people. Like, and then here's all the bulleted ways they can do it. Florida hasn't done that yet. Not saying we're not safe. Like Florida is leaving it up to individual cities and individual counties. So the rules might maybe different from one venue to another. So
yeah. I'm actually Googling
Yeah.
what my state's rules are right now because I
Okay, good, because I'm going to ask you.
Listen, I was in it for a minute, but then it just became too overwhelming. So I was like, I need to
Same.
sit back for a minute with all the information. And
Yep.
like, I feel like I'm ready. Like I watched the news for the first time yesterday and I'm like reading some articles and stuff, but
Yeah, let me Google Florida real quick, but I'm pretty sure that we are fully open. Except for bars. Like bars are open, but they just are at a certain capacity of how many people are in that room. So, you know, it's a good thing, and I'm thankful that nobody has gotten sick. Although I feel like it's one of those things where we're going into the season, just like Selecta we were talking about, like we're in the season of either a cold or a flu, and so this is the first time ever in my entire life I got a flu shot.
wow. How do you feel?
I feel fine. They pricked my arm and like I'm golden, but like I didn't want to go through the next 2 months because I do get sick this time of year and then be freaked out because maybe I have COVID. Like I can't risk it. So I'm the girl that's wearing a mask. Like I still don't go to grocery stores. I order my stuff online. I pick it up. So
yeah.
Yeah. We just got hit up by Kenny Watkins saying if we pay attention to the chat. We sure do, Kenny. And I see you.
Kenny,
shout out to you because you're in Canada and I'm Canadian. So it's nice to see you here. Nice to see you here. Yeah, I don't know about, California, I think is by county too. And they were doing okay, but now the numbers are climbing. And the last event that I worked, they really bend what they're saying they're doing even for weddings. Like they can't even really say they're having a wedding. Like people are jumping through so many holes to try and make their business function. Yeah. So even if there's mandates, people are trying to find ways around those mandates to make it work. And I understand all of that. It's a very confusing time. I've got the bride telling me to take off my mask. I've got the wedding coordinator telling me I better not take off my mask. I've got, because we can't have any pictures showing anything that's not compliant. And now this online thing with we can, we can't, we will, we won't. The kids are in school. They're not in school. They can, they can't. Like you said, Jess, it's like a lull.
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure it all out. But I hope we do soon.
Yeah. I feel like the next 2 months are going to be really telling on like, how people's confidence is in booking future events, how, the people who are having events, let's say January through March, if they're still holding down the fort and like I'm still having my event, I would love not to go through another round of postponements. I don't think I can mentally handle it, but I'm a survivor, so I'll do what I got to do. But yeah, this kind of lull of like we got to just ride it, see what happens, sit and wait,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think for me, definitely the thing, I can't like sit, so I'm definitely doing things for the future. And I almost laugh at myself because I'm putting together the company budget for 2021 and I just giggle a little bit because I'm like, it could all go out the window, but I still have to try to give myself a little bit of structure, right? Like, what are you guys thinking about? Like, what could 2021 look like? Have you started to think about like goals or things? And like, what does that look like for you guys?
I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. So I'm going to let Jess go. I'm like a smell of flower
in the mail.
I just want to get all of my already full calendar for next year into my new management system so I can look at the numbers. Like I thought about that. I was like, I wish I could just like, I'm going to do that. But so no, I'm pumped about next year. Honestly, I think my biggest thing is like, I'm done booking as far as weddings go. I don't want to overwhelm myself. I'm at 23. With about 65% of those being postponements. So that's kind of hard to stomach, but I'm still excited to work with those clients that I didn't get a chance to work with this year. And then private events, we'll see what happens with that. I'm concerned about January through March, right? Like I've said this before, I take this whole, everything that's going on in like 3-month chunks of planning. So, now that I'm in November, I feel like November, December, just kind of up in the air and I'm just like watching and educating myself. And then I just know January through March, what's going to happen with my events then. So I'm concerned about those actually happening because I'm excited to have income during those those months, but I'm not going to decide to do anything. I know that I'm capable, as well as all of the DJs watching and others that aren't watching, I'm capable of figuring out what to do. I did it before. You know, it's like, we know that we were able to get through that initial shock when it just hit the fan and we were blindsided by it. You know, everybody in the world was blindsided by it, and we still were able to come out and be okay. I mean, myself, at least I figured out what I needed to make a month, you know, what I could live on, took it down to the bare minimum and decided I would make that. And I made that plus some. So I'm not super concerned about figuring that out. I'm just anxious. I'm anxious because we're in this transition right now and what the news is saying. And obviously all of the current climate of America, if you will, you know what I mean? So it's an anxious time. I feel it's a low vibration out there right now, dude. But
yeah, say it loud and clear, girl. Low vibration.
Right. But 2021's looking good. Just hoping they stick, man. I just booked this really amazing streaming session for January for a couple, and it's just me, them, the photographer, which is my sister-in-law, and an officiant that I recommended. So I'm hoping that comes through because I love those. I want to kick up the notch with streaming. And if you are not doing that, Crystal, we've talked about this. Anybody watching, if you want to learn more about how to stream ceremonies and receptions, that is going to be a great add-on for a little bit of time to come, for sure, if not longer.
I technically do it, but like I don't do it. I hire a professional here in Orlando that like does it because I'm terrified of like an Ethernet cord and, you know, things being muted, you know, things like that. So
yeah, good on you, dude. Good on you. That's smart. If you don't want to take it on, hire it out.
Yep.
For sure.
I think, you know, talk about vibrations. I feel like the highest possible vibrations. Let me just tell you guys, my favorite holiday of the whole entire year is Thanksgiving. So as soon as September hits, which is my birthday, I get out my pumpkins and they're cute. Like they're cream and they're white and they're like sage green with like gold. It's very like, you know, farmhouse chic pumpkins, right? Every Thanksgiving since like, I don't know, 7 Thanksgivings ago, I'd make my husband bring home a photo booth. I'd create like a Thanksgiving, you know, like photo strip. I would make everybody write down what they're grateful for. Like my menu would be like printed and cute. I'd spend 3 days cooking, which for those of you who know me know I don't cook a damn lick. Oh, excuse my language, all year long. But like Thanksgiving, I'm gonna bring it out, okay? Recipes on fleek, whatever. I tell you all that because 2020, there is no Thanksgiving. I told my husband, we're going camping for Thanksgiving. Done. And then let's get out the Christmas tree because I want lights. I want magic. I want Christmas music. There is just something about that time of year, I think, that brings everyone joy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So listen, if anybody has a Christmas tree out, send it to me. I'll gladly look at it and get joy out of it. But I don't think anyone's judging any of us if you want to decorate early for Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I think that's great. My kids were talking about it yesterday. We saw one house that was full and I was like, oh, that's so wonderful. One quote I heard, Jess, and Kristin, that I really, really liked from Deepak Chopra was, with every great adversity comes great growth. And so I just hold on to that. Right? Because there's, we're good, right? With every great adversity comes great growth. And so I trust that we are where we're supposed to be, and we will, and whatever will happen. And that's what's supposed to be. So it's hard for me. I'm not a great planner anyway. That's one of my downfalls. I'm really not. I'm very go with the flow and kind of chilling. But so it's hard for me to even know, but I kind of embracing, like, I feel like whatever it's going to be, I don't feel like my DJ business isn't going to work because, like you said, Jess, we've already been through this tidal wave and we're all okay. You know, we're finding ways and we're finding gigs, or they're finding us, you know, so I don't plan too much, but I just feel comfortable that no matter what, it's all gonna work itself out, and the gigs that are supposed to come will come. And now at least I can go online and do the online streaming for the weddings and stuff. What's up, Mario? Mm-hmm. And like, whatever, let's meet at a cabin one day, the 3 of us, and let's Have a female DJ excursion and play out loud outside or something and live stream it. I don't know. We'll find a way. I second it, Jess.
We'll be a platform by then.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
DJ Underground.
Kristin,
right.
How you feeling, girl? I mean, you're from a totally different perspective than both BSelecta and I. We're solo ops, man. You have this tribe that you have to lead. I can't even imagine, like, how are you feeling about next year? What are your plans? I know you said you're doing a DIY reno. That's
cool. So thankfully my husband is genius when it comes to that. I mean, if I didn't have this and his hand was in the business, it definitely would be in that. And, you know, we've flipped houses and we do some real estate on the side. But I think for me this year, or now planning for next year, is really just about really being realistic. So like when I'm writing down what I think is going to be possible for next year, it is really just what we have on the books right now and maybe a tiny bit more, knowing that we're still booking right now. So I'm not inflating anything. You know, and I think one of the things I really want to do is just get intimate with other things. So, you know, obviously when we did like budget cuts and things like that, I cut out like a lot of just like I want to call it fluff advertising that really didn't, you know, whatever. But with the small little renovation, I want to be able to host like intimate open houses where there's just a few people here and there, or, you know, maybe it's vendors or maybe it's brides, you know, maybe we can do a little bit of live streaming for charity. So, you know, I mean, I was watching a presentation today, or actually it was yesterday, because Wedding MBA is happening virtually this week.
Right.
And somebody said, and I forget who it was, she said, when you're planning for next year, plan for 3 scenarios: good, better, best. And in my mind, I'm just planning for the good, bare bones, like that's it, because I don't want to get my hopes up. And if we do better than planned, then I love it. You know what I mean? We're still doing the same things where we're reaching out for recruiting. So, you know, if a great personality or a great human comes along, and then I've got some, you know, big ideas that I'm working on, which those are going to take a little bit more time to kind of sit in the soup a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think what COVID has taught me, and you guys already know this, is I've taken a lot of time to just breathe and think. And so I've scaled back, not necessarily numbers wise, but just in my own, what I have to do every single day. So that has freed me up to really use my creativity to figure out, okay, what can the future possibly look like? So I'm pumped. I pray that we can stay safe and we don't have to shut our world down again. So yeah, it's kind of where I'm at.
Totally.
Well, I want to jump into, before we wrap things up, I want to jump into some equipment stuff, because obviously we're DJs and we play music and we do live events. And I know that I just got a couple of new things, and I know, B, you just got a few new things. So I'm excited to hear about yours. Tell us all about it. So you just got the, 3 different types of sub-series, right?
Yeah. So I did actually, So I tried out the KS112, which is the 12-inch sub, the 212C, which is 2 12s in one unit, and it has an omnidirectional, some fancy word I don't remember, that allows the decibels behind the sub to be 15 less than what it's actually outputting. So for certain events where that actually matters, or your own ears. And then the 181, which is their 18. So I wanted to try all of them because I wanted to check out, of course, their sound, but also how easily can I maneuver these things? Because the 12 is fine. We got the 12, up, down, all good. But the 212C is very narrow, but very tall. And the 181 is a big boy. So I wanted to see how that felt. I had a gig at a hotel in Laguna Beach. I knew it was going to be very interesting to load and unload. And I was hoping I could do like a really good sound test there, but because of California and because of the requirements, like sound had to be really quiet because we're technically having dinner. That's what we were doing. We were having dinner. So dinner music is low. So I actually plugged them all into my house and I taped it for you guys so you could see. And I played each one. I played like an instrumental track. I played Snoop, and I played like an EDM track. And just really quick, I'll let you guys know. First of all of them are phenomenal. We all know that QSC product is just premium, right? So I enjoyed the 12. That was a great compliment to my K12s that I already have. I feel like I would need 2, but as far as moving it, super easy. So I love that. The 212C was cool. I found it to be really difficult for me to move because it's so tall. Mm-hmm. So when I was trying to lift it up, you know how you talked about your knee, Kristin? Like you can't get it under because it's too high. So I was struggling. Getting it out of the vehicle is one thing, but getting that thing back in was really difficult. Sound-wise, you know, I couldn't push it as hard as I'd like. I felt like the 212C was really good for the EDM track because it had a really tight punch bass. You know, it wasn't deep, but it was more powerful than a single 12, but still really tight and really precise. I don't generally spin a ton of EDM music in the gigs that I normally do because I'm a hip hop and R&B DJ. But so that being said, I found for me personally, the 181, like once I turned that thing on, like I felt it in my soul. Ooh, and that's what I want, right? Like I want bass to, I want to feel it. Yeah. So the 181 instantly, especially with Snoop, just went right into my soul. And I'm like, oh, this is the one. And it's heavy. It's heavy for a single, but for me, some dudes probably no problem. Some ladies probably no problem. Me personally, little heavy. Second person helping, cake. So I think I'm gonna go with the 181 or the 181 and get that big boy in my life and just beg someone to help me get it in and out of my car and call it a day.
That's the hard part, is getting it in and out of your car. It's not so much. I mean, what kind of speaker stands do you have? Do you have the air pressurized kind?
No, I need to get the air pressurized kind.
Cheapest, best investment you can make. Seriously.
Yeah.
Your back. But how many pounds is it, I wonder? Does anybody know off the top?
Yeah, I think it's around 70 to 80 pounds.
Oh, yeah. That would be too much. I'm good with like 50. I'll bulk up just so I can buy them, but.
No, I really, honestly, it's a little on the high end. I mean, 70 to 80 pounds is not nothing. Yeah. But what I did find, Jess, is you're right. Once I got it out of my car, maneuver, I mean, they've got wheels, and they've got these great wheels where when you're flipping it, the wheels go under, it flips up fine.
Wait, dude, it's a sub. You're not putting it up on a stand, right?
I know, but that's still relevant.
No, I don't have a sub right now, so that's why I'm like so interested in this. I need to grab a sub.
Okay, so I'll tell you, I have the 181, and I normally, for the size events that I do, I could do 2 12-inch speakers and 1 181. Sometimes, like, depending on the size of my ballroom, I might need a little bit more, but most of the time it's fine. And I do explain to people who are wanting like a punch on the dance floor, you will get a punch on the dance floor if I have one sub. You just may not get a punch from like wall to wall. I love that sub, and I cannot tell you how I feel in words that are not appropriate on a live video when that bass hits. Like, things
90 pounds.
You feel it. Yes, it is. And I Googled it. It is 93.6 pounds. And that's the sub that, like, when I put it in my truck, I have to like pick it up. I got to do my leg and then like shove it up. But once it's on wheels, it's fine.
But fine. A thing, a ramp to slide it down, man. I feel like there's an answer to this. There's always an answer to it, right? Yeah.
Well, and like sometimes when I park my truck, like I can park it at an angle to where like I just like leverage it up and then I push the rest. So I can definitely do it solo. It's a lot easier with 2. You know what I mean?
Way easier with 2.
Yep. I did try the QSC CP8s at last month's wedding show that I did. And I loved them for the application, right? So imagine a big giant wedding showcase where there are a bunch of vendors, and then there's a fashion show, and we did all the AV and for whatever. So I had two 12-inch speakers on either side in the center, and then I put two CP8s on either side. And it really, honestly, just filled out that area so well that at one point in time, there was a vendor in the very back corner of the room that texted me and was like, oh my God, Lady Gaga. And it wasn't even about the artist. It was the fact that she heard it clearly.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to push it too hard and it might be distorted over here and not over here. So those were great. So I'm going to use those for, you know, additional sound fillers if I need them. I'll use them for small ceremonies. I'll even use it like, let's say if a wedding planner has an intimate open house in a room that's maybe 100 to 200 square feet, I'll maybe plop one of those up. And then I'll probably permanently put them in our back showcase office where we'll play whether it's live or streaming. So I loved them.
Yeah.
So you used it to fill the space around you. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So like if you're in a giant ballroom, right, I don't need 12-inch speakers all over the whole thing, because at a certain point in time, I don't need the music to be bumping. I need you to hear what I'm saying in announcements, and I need you to know what's going on. So those were kind of just spaced out further so that it filled the rest of the room and you could hear things properly.
Got it.
So yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Voting for the 181 for sure.
Well, I want to end this by leaving you guys with some positive vibes about not closing down. DJs will be getting back to work, and all of us are going to have a packed calendar, no matter if you're like me and in Florida, or you're like Jess in the Northeast in Pittsburgh, or West Coast Selecta. The Chinese restaurant, Fortune Cookie said this to me, and I kept it in my phone.
Saw that.
And it says, you will soon be involved in many gatherings and parties.
That's amazing.
Mic drop. The end. Seriously. I'm calling it.
Yeah. You are a prophet right now. You are the chosen one. I will listen to you. Whatever. It just came through to you. It is for everybody. Spread the good word, my girl.
I mean, if it's a Chinese fortune cookie that does it, I'm in. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's like some movie type stuff. Can you like rub something and then make this poof and it happen real quick for us?
No, for real though. It's like I'm legit saving this fortune cookie for reals.
Frame that.
No, you for real should. Yes.
Yeah.
Keep pushing that out there.
Yeah.
We're gonna be all right.
Got a comment. Island Blue Tones Music said hotels are needing entertainment. So yep.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, we don't know what the future holds, but you know, all we can do is continue to keep learning, growing, learning, you know, what can we do with equipment, getting better with music, you know, all the things. So ladies, do you want to leave with anything else? Anything else you want to add, say, comment?
Thank you, QSC. Thank you, Brad. This it's been a rough COVID type day for me. Not like I have COVID, but I'm just saying like the atmosphere of everything. And I knew, even though I didn't feel inclined to go and put makeup on, which I probably didn't have to, but whatever, you know my style. I knew once I got on here, I feel better. So thank you too.
Yeah. I love the talks. Thank you for bringing me back, you guys. Thank you, QSC. We just got to stick together and continue to grow. I mean, it's going to be all right. Kendrick Lamar says we going to be all right.
Amen. All right, guys. Well, check the QSC Facebook page for more upcoming lives with DJ discussions. I know there's a couple more on the calendar coming up. You guys are not going to want to miss. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, I'm Kristin with our DJ Rocks out of Orlando. See you guys next time on another edition of Play Out Loud.
Peace. Bye, everyone.